Hi, singers. It's coming that time of the semester where everyone seems to have a research paper due or some sort of essay they have to write for a class. So I decided today my talk will be focused on a little bit of advice that I've picked up over the years, different strategies that work for me, and maybe they'll help you in your paper writing. The first one I can think of is I know every professor says this, and a lot of times you're like, yeah, right, like that's going to help. But start your paper with an outline. Use that as a kind of a framework for what you're going to build off in your writing, because I find it's easier for me to think of a paper as based in sections instead of an entire paper. So instead of thinking like, oh, I have to write a whole 5-page paper, think maybe I have to write one page about X, Y, and Z. I have to write one page about this other topic. Sometimes that helps, just breaking it down, so even like a mental image of the paper will help, just because having it in smaller sections will be more doable. The next thing I can think of is make sure you don't spend too much time on writing the paper in one set block. Try to break it up. So instead of like spending 5 hours in one day working on the paper, maybe spend an hour a day over 5 days. Usually it's good when you know you have an assignment due like a week in advance or so, or more than that. Then you can kind of pace it out a little bit easier and block it out so you know what you have to work on and what you can spend each day to get a little bit done. The next thing that I can think of that helps is organizing your sources. This is always a big thing. And when I was a sophomore in high school, I picked up this technique called data cards. I don't know if anyone else has ever heard of it. And it was really a good way of organizing my thoughts and kind of realizing what I have for sources. The way it works is you just take, say you have a quote or a fact that you get from some sort of research, and you have the fact on the little card. You put what the source is, so the author, the page number, and then you can actually take all those different cards that you acquire over the process of writing the paper, and you can actually physically put them out, just lay them out on the floor, put them in different places saying, oh, I want this here, that'll work for this argument here, that'll work there. And then finally, a big thing in any school that they talk about is plagiarism. And I know a lot of people think like, oh, I don't have to think about that because I'm an honest person. A lot of times plagiarism isn't because someone is deceitful and they think, oh, I'm going to take this and pretend I thought it up. A lot of times it's just because people don't understand exactly how to cite things. Basically, what I've learned in my life is that if it's a fact that you can recall on your own, then you don't need to cite it because it's something that's in your knowledge. But if it's something you don't know unless you consult a source, then you have to cite that. So for example, if I was writing a paper about Bach, I know for a fact that he died in 1750. So I wouldn't need to cite that since it's a knowledge that I have on a daily basis. I know it already myself. But if I wanted to find out maybe what city he died in or what month he died in, I would have to consult a source. So I therefore have to cite that. You don't always have to cite it in quotes. You don't have to quote somebody, but you do have to acknowledge that person, either if you use endnotes or footnotes or with the little parentheticals afterwards. So make sure you just think about it that way. Every fact in your paper, think, is this something that I have in my knowledge base on my own personal level, or is it something that I actually have to consult a source for? And if you have to consult a source, then you want to make sure you cite that, because otherwise someone could call it plagiarism. All right. So good luck on writing your papers, and I wish you the best of everything. And I'll see you later.